It's time to tell a story. It's time to tell a tale. Once upon a time, a little fairy lived in her cozy home deep in the warm brown earth. She spent her days sweeping and tidying and making her home look beautiful. She was happy and content in her little home. In the afternoons, she spent her time knitting herself some magnificent colourful silk wings. She had no idea when she would ever fly, but it didn't matter. She was content. As she worked, she hummed a little tune and sang a little song. Twinkle toes, off I go, always dancing to and fro. Twinkle toes, off I go, always dancing to and fro. The next morning, she was busy sweeping her little home. She didn't realise, but she took a step too far and crack! She punched a hole through the wall of her home. To her utter amazement, bright sunlight streamed through the crack. She could feel the fresh spring breeze, and she could smell the scent of wild roses. She could hear the sounds of little animals above. She thought of her song. Twinkle toes, off I go, always dancing to and fro, and decided she was ready for adventure. She grabbed her wings and off she went. She crawled up through the earth. The roots caught in her hair and the soil stained her clothes, but she pushed on. She got higher and higher until suddenly, pop, out she came and stood on the solid earth. She looked around. She couldn't believe the vivid colours everywhere. She looked up and saw butterflies and birds flying gracefully above. She longed to join them. Suddenly, she remembered her wings, and delicately she put them over her shoulders. They sat beautifully and swung down her back. She climbed up onto the top of a little mushroom house. When she got to the top, she suddenly felt quite frightened. She looked down and it suddenly seemed very high. Her head was spinning and she felt very dizzy. She was so busy panicking she almost didn't notice a beautiful butterfly flying past, singing a familiar song. Twinkle toes, off I go, always dancing to and fro. She reached out to grab the butterfly and say hello, but she took a step too far and she tumbled down, down, down. She was so frightened, but the wind caught her wings, and before she knew it, she was flying and soaring high in the air. She was having so much fun with all of her new insect friends. Twinkle toes, off I go, always dancing to and fro. Twinkle toes, off I go, always dancing to and fro.